are kind of tied into the different things.
Yeah.
What are some of the most common things that you help people with from a household management standpoint?
I think a lot of times breakdowns, the dishwasher broke down, or
Yes.
they need, something's leaking, or plumbing is huge. You have to grab those repairs right away,
Right.
because they could damage your flooring, and then you're looking at a bigger job.
Yes.
So I think maintenance or routine maintenance also you can
Yes.
schedule for people.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And because you have a pretty big crew that helps you with all of this, right? You were saying, I think you've got...
We have 12 employees on
Okay.
staff right now, and looking to hire more.
Yay! Oh, good. If you're an organizer.
I'll do a plug. If you'd like to work part-time and you're very organized and you're thinking there's no such job as what I love to do, yes, there is. And also, Nicole, that's another side benefit that I thought of when I was preparing for the show. When I started my business, it was because I was doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But it never occurred to me that I was inventing jobs that
make you
kind
feel
of
good?
didn't exist before.
Yes.
Well, it does make me feel good, because once in a while my employees will say, I'm so glad I have this job, because I'm just not a desk job person. I want to be out organizing someone's garage, and I didn't think there was a job that existed
Right.
to do that.
Or that somebody viewed that as valuable.
Right.
I can tell you I view it as very valuable. And
Right.
It's not a talent I have. I'm in awe.
So yes, if you know of people who are looking for some work, we're definitely hiring.
That's great. Well, and especially, I'm sure it's a perfect timing, summertime, right? There's people who want temp jobs, college students, all of that type of thing. And it's the time of year, I am imagining, when people are kind of into that stuff, right? It's a good time for maintenance on your house.
Right.
The weather's good, going through storage units, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we have someone working with seniors who have a storage unit. Actually, they have 4.
Oh.
Well, when you're a certain age and your relatives pass away, they leave all their stuff to you.
Yes.
And you don't want to put it in your house, so you get a storage unit. And then you realize 2 or 3 years later, oh my gosh, I've been paying for this storage unit for years, and I need to figure out if I even want this stuff.
Right.
So we could go to the storage unit with them and go through it and figure out, is there anything they want? Does it have to go to other heirs? Does it need to get donated or sold?
Yeah,
So.
I'm sure it's helpful too to have somebody, an outside person, help with that, because a lot of that is actually really emotional. Like, you don't think it is, and then you dive into it.
Exactly.
There's a lot that gets wrapped up into some of that stuff, and so to have someone there to help talk you through it and give little nudges like, okay, you need to make a decision on this.
Or there's one thing that's difficult for people is when you purchase something, you know how much you paid for it.
Right.
And you know how much it's worth to you. But at the point where you don't want it anymore, or you can't use it anymore, then you have in the back of your mind, oh, I paid $3,000 for that, and all I can get for it, and when I sell it on Craigslist, is $50. What the heck?
Right.
It's really hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's great that you help people with that.
We try.
Awesome. What are some of the other things that you guys do or help people with that seem to be the most popular right now?
Moving parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're already busy with your career, your kids, your things that you're doing for your family, and then on top of that, you get the news that, grandma or mom has to go to an assisted living.
Yes.
Then we can help figure out, what they're going to take with them and get them over there, get them all set up, and then figure out what to do with the things that are left over in the house.
Oh, that's great. We actually just had a client move into assisted living, and she's in great shape, so she really managed a lot of it, but again, I keep coming back to the emotional part of it.
Exactly.
But it's huge, right?
Yep.
She moved out of this house she's lived in for 53 years.
Absolutely.
And going to a new space, and there's a lot to manage there. And for anybody, right? But especially if you've been in a house that long, you accumulate some stuff,
and
right?
In this
and
area,
you don't have to be a pack-rat or a hoarder
to
end up with a lot of things to go through.
It's true. There are a lot of neighborhoods that we've found where people have lived in their homes that long.
Yes.
That they're little pockets of neighborhoods where people, and they know each other, and they've lived there since their kids were born. And
yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, and I should mention, little plug, if you go to NicoleMangina.com /podcast after this, we will have all of Laurie's information on there. Whether you're looking for a part-time job, or you're thinking, this is the summer, I finally get all that deferred maintenance done, or I'm getting ready for a move, or maybe they need to organize the garage or the storage unit or something, anything like that, all your summer projects, Laurie's your gal. You can get them done this summer. You can feel good about it, and maybe do it a whole lot faster. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, what are some of your favorite places on the 425? Right, that's the other part of the show.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I'm not a huge go out to restaurant person.
That's okay.
My friend group and we are really into like cooking for each other.
Love it.
So we do that, but also we do go wine tasting or play golf. A lot of my friends play golf.
What are some of your favorite golf courses?
So I like to play at Maplewood, which is near my home.
Oh, sure.
And not in the 425, but my family has property on Camino Island.
Oh, yeah.
And I love to go up there, and they have a wonderful golf course, and it's
a
beautiful place to go.
Yeah, what part of life in the 425, you have to leave the 425 at some point, right?
You do.
The 425 is great, and I love living here, but you do need to venture beyond the borders of the 425 area code. So Camino's beautiful.
It is, and you can go to an island without having to go on a ferry.
Which is huge.
It's
especially
huge.
this time of year, right? When you start reading those ferry wait times, and you think, oh, I don't know about this whole
They
thing.
have beautiful parks, even if you don't stay there, you can go visit it. It's wonderful.
Great.
You can go crabbing. It's almost crab season, so.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts right around the 4th of July.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you go do the crab pots and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
my friends have crab pots.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, fresh crab. Oh, so good.
That's good? All right. Good to know. Do you have other golf courses that you golf at?
Let me think for a minute. Sometimes I get invited by people to go to their golf courses.
Oh, which is the best.
I know.
Right? When you get invited to their golf. I know. Our youngest is at golf camp this week over at the UW, actually.
Very nice.
So he's cute. I mean, it's fun. He's learning. My husband, Gary's a huge golfer, so we're trying to get the kids into it. And he's out there with his buddies, and they're so cute in their little collared shirts and their golf shorts, carrying their bags and stuff like that. It's great.
I like the driving range at Newcastle because if you go up there in the morning on a Saturday or Sunday, it's a beautiful place to be in the morning, and they have coffee right there, and so you can get your practice in and have a little coffee.
It is. I love that place. I haven't been there forever. Thank you for mentioning that. That is also, the 4th of July is next week. That is one of the best places to be on the 4th of July.
Yep.
It feels like hundreds of fireworks displays. You can just see them everywhere. It's amazing.
True.
Yeah. So very cool. And you guys cooked. Do you have favorite grocery stores? I'm a fan of the Met Market.
Oh yeah,
the
Met Market.
Market.
Yes, we love that. Gosh, I think there's a couple of meat markets we like, and my friends are the cooks, and I'm the chopper and the sous chef.
Oh, good.
And so they tell me how to make it, how to chop it, and what to do with it. And then I'm also the cleanup crew because being an organizer, I love to clean up. So.
Aw, I'm gonna invite you to my dinner party. I will make you clean.
I love cleaning.
Do you?
It's crazy. I know. I'm like Monica on Friends. I love to clean.
Funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so how did you get started? I think you talked about it a little bit at the show, but then how did the whole impetus for Seamless Moves start then? So
I was married to someone who was in the Navy, so we moved around a lot. And when you do that, you go to get a part-time job while your spouse is in this certain place, and they say, "Oh, you're in the Navy. I don't know if I should hire you because you're only going to be here for 3 years." Not realizing that most people are only in their jobs for about 3 years anyway.
Right? Isn't that funny?
So I said, "Well, I have to start my own business. Then it has to be something I can move with me wherever I go, and I need to do something I know how to do. What do I know how to do? I know how to move."
Right.
So I said, "Well, it's got to be something around moving." And it was really fun because when I started the business, we were stationed in Hawaii. Okay. And so I would unpack for people when they would move there or when they would move to another island, and they would actually
built-in
fly
clientele
me to the other island.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
To unpack for them, it was so fun. So if you ever go to the airport in Honolulu, you will see somewhere some fingernail marks where they had to drag me to Hawaii.
You're like, I'm not leaving.
Hawaii.
So are you a Northwest native then?
Yes. Well, I grew up here. I've been here since I was 3.
Okay. Yeah. And then moved around with your husband and came back. Yeah, that's funny.
Actually, I moved around even a little bit before that because my sport of choice when I was young was figure skating.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know that about you.
I went to college for a year at the UW, and then I realized if I was going to do the ice show thing, the Ice Follies, Ice Capades thing, I needed to do it. So I did join the Ice Follies, and I
did you really?
Roamed around the place for
That
a
is
while.
so cool.
Yeah, it was very fun. Very, very
awesome.
Fun.
I totally remember going to the Ice Capades as a kid.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing. And then we have boys, so they still thought it was cool. We did like a Disney one, but I just remember as a little girl, I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. I did not know that about you.
I loved it. Yeah.
Very cool. How long did you do that?
Quite a long time. I was in the ice shows for probably about 5 or 6 years, and then I moved to Los Angeles and I taught figure skating for a while.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do you still skate?
I haven't been for a while. I really do need to go back
Yeah.
because it's like riding a bicycle. You'll still figure out how to do it at some point, but you know, I would love to go back. I'm terrible about making time to do things
yourself,
when
right?
you own a business.
Yes.
You have these two things on your shoulders going, do the business,
Right.
do something fun.
You're always doing things for other people and not for yourself. So you can do the whole flip thing and everything, right?
Used to.
Spin around. I am not an ice skater. I put ice skates on. I can like push myself up on one side and hopefully I can glide to the other before I fall down. And that's about as far as I can make it.
Well, yeah, and the secret is, especially the older you get, when you fall, and you will fall, just kind of curl up in a ball and, you know, fall on the part that nature made for falling.
Okay.
And don't, like, stick your hands out and try to stop yourself.
Okay. Good to know.
That's when bad things happen.
All right. I may stay on the dry part of the ice and just cheer for people that are skating.
It's not so bad.
No?
No.
That is awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, God, I'm so glad that we have had you on the show today to share what you do, because I know there are people out there thinking this is amazing. So again, we've got it on NicoleMangina.com/podcast. We'll have all of Laurie's contact information. I highly recommend you reach out to her. Again, not just for moves, but for all kinds of good stuff. Whatever your projects are that you feel overwhelmed with, or maybe just don't want to do them, right? It couldn't be, maybe you have all the time in the world and it is just not your thing. Lori
awesome.
is your gal. Lori and her team. So awesome. Well, we always have a real estate tip on the show. So today's a real estate tip, and just kind of some information is the most common home contingencies, right? When you're buying a place and you go to write your offer, there's lots of different parts to it. There's the price, but there's also different contingencies. And these are, topics that always come up with clients, both for the buyer when you try to decide how you're going to write your offer, and then as a seller when you're evaluating the offer, the different contingencies matter. So the first and most common contingency is the inspection contingency, which is where you could come in a lot, right? Because it's, now when these things have happened, how do we manage these repairs, right? Mm-hmm. Admittedly, when I list properties, I try to do it as a pre-listing inspection. So we have the inspector come in ahead of time, which is nice because then we have time and we can call someone like you to come in and manage all of that stuff. So ideally we don't have the inspection contingency in there, but either way, for a buyer, whether you have an inspection contingency or you're doing something ahead of time, that inspection is a key part of the process because you need to know what you're buying, right? It's, like with a car, you've got to look under the hood, find out what's going on and all of that good stuff. So that's the main contingency that people have in their contracts. The other is the financing. Right? Which is, hey, we think we can afford this thing. We need to get a loan from the bank. We think they're going to give us some money, but we don't really know. And usually a buyer is pre-approved, but they still tend to have that contingency in the contract. So as a buyer, you want to get as far ahead in that process as you can. And as a seller, you want to make sure that your listing agent is really over there evaluating things, talking to the lender and making sure that they've got that information. So that, those are the two main contingencies that you have in the contract. And again, we'll have that on the website after the show. And before we wrap up here, let's chat about, I'm all about summer right now. Like I said, the kids are out of school, everything feels relaxed. Next week is the 4th of July. It's on a Wednesday, so I'm very curious to see how next week goes, right? Are people going to show up to work?
Right.
I think they're really going to probably take most of the week off, which sometimes is good. What do you do for the 4th of July? What are your favorite things to do on the 4th?
We generally would have a gathering on our property on Camino Island.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And where we're located, we can see several fireworks shows also.
Oh, great.
So that's very cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, we live in Kirkland, and I love the 4th of July, but I have to admit I'm only willing to do so much in terms of like crowds and traffic and things like that. So Kirkland's great. We have the parade downtown.
Yes.
And it is the ultimate small town parade, right? There's the kids parade first, and they come through on their bikes, and they're all decorated with streamers and different things. And then we've got everything from like the swim team to the mayor to the band, and it's just a fun time. And the streets are packed. They're like 6 and
That's awesome.
7 people deep.
Yeah.
Right? Watching all these people come through, and it's always fun because you see people you know, or
Yeah.
see the kids and all of that, and they're always so excited to be in the
Do
parade.
kids still pull those wooden hydros on the back of their bicycles?
They do.
Oh,
yeah.
we did that when we were kids. That was
It's
so
great.
fun.
I know. They're not allowed to throw candy as much anymore. That, you know,
Ah.
it's not politically correct, or somebody, I don't know, took a piece of Jolly Rancher to the forehead, and they're not allowed to do that anymore. That's a bummer, because really it's all about the candy, right?
Absolutely.
But, you know, candy aside, it's still fun to have everybody come through. They always have the vets that are, you know, in town. They come through and things like that. So for us, it's great. We can walk down, we do the parade, there's minimal things, and then we can always walk down and see the fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we live in Houghton, right by the Metropolitan Market, hence the reason it's my favorite grocery store. That and the PCC, it just kind of run back and forth. But we're on the ridge, and you can go onto the ridge and see Seattle and Kirkland, and it's just nice. There's something about fireworks. They're beautiful, right?
Yeah,
To see
it's
those
fun.
in the sky and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, especially when they do them to music. Some of them, I know Seattle does them to music,
Mhm.
which is really, really great.
It is.
So, and there's usually a barbecue in there somewhere. So,
Yeah. And then if people want to, they can always go to Safeco Field. They have awesome fireworks there to music.
oh, good.
and-
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's on the 4th, but it's near
Yeah.
the 4th.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Right on. Well, Lori, thanks so much for being here today.
Yeah,
I know
thanks
this
for
is a
having me.
very busy time of year for
Very.
you. So I am incredibly grateful that you took the time to join us today, because I know you are managing a lot of things for a lot of people right now. But thanks. And I learned something new about you today with your ice skating.
I know. Crazy, huh?
It's awesome. That's one of my favorite things about what I do, is you get to find out neat things about people that you didn't know before.
Right.
So thanks so much for being here today. Join us next week, everybody, on the 425 show. Take care and make it a great week. Bye.